Okay, so today we will discuss on geographies. So basically, the geography is right, some physical location with some boundary. So we will call that as a geography, right? So where exactly these geographies will be used is suppose on creating a contact, we need the contact person address, right? We will capture that address. And to capture that, we need to specify the list of countries, right? Then the states, the districts, pin codes, cities. So these kind of data we need to provide, or we need to set up that data. So once we set up that, so uh, while creating contacts or whenever we create lead opportunity, so wherever address is required, so we can use that existing data. And why we need this existing, why we need to use the existing data is to avoid the incorrect data, right? So if we don't enable the list of values, right, for some of the minimum information like country, state, city, district, some kind of this values, so customers may enter some wrong data or invalid data. So that will cause a problem while giving the exact locations, or right. So if there is incorrect data, so then it is difficult to uh, finding a place. And for that, we need this geography setup. So today, yeah, we will be discussing these topics like how to set up the data, how to define a structure of the address, and how to define that data, the hierarchy, and then how do we perform the validations on geographies. So basically, this will be the like common structure, right? So basically, the world, and so ideally the address will start from country, and then state, city, pin code, then something like this. And here we will call this country, region, state, or city, right? So these are the geography types. We will call these are the geography types, and these are geography hierarchy. And where exactly we will use this geographies in contact, right? To specify contact address, we will person address. So we will use, and while entering account data, so we will capture the organization address, registered address, or sell to address. If we are selling some product, the sell to address, ship to address, right? So the billing address. So these kind of addresses we will be capturing uh, through this geographies only with the help of geography setup. And one more thing, so this address, right, might be different for each country. So in India, so we have some predefined structure like country, state, then district, then city, then right, then taluk, or like mandal, then a pin code, something like this. But if we compare with other country, so there might be some difference. If we take US, so it will be little different. It's not in the same hierarchy or same structure. So that's why we need to set up a different structures for each country. So where exactly we will define is uh, in in the task called manage geographies. So how this data will come, right? So there are few ways of importing or uploading this geographies data. So one is because anyway there might be difference for each country, but there is a standard format, or there will be some standard uh, structures already, and with the help of that data, right? So Oracle and some other third-party systems already built that geography hierarchies, the data, etc. And as part of Oracle Fusion Cloud license, so we can consume that existing data provided by Oracle, and we don't need to import like uh, we don't need to pay any extra, or we don't need to define our structure uh, uh, again. So if your requirement, or if your organization uh, also satisfies with the predefined geography data, right? If it fits for your organization, so there is no much changes, then always you can prefer using the standard uh, Oracle provided geography data. Now we'll quickly get into the environment. Okay. So once you are completed some initial setups, right? Or as part of initial setup, if you remember, as part of initial setup, so system allows importing 5 countries, right? At the time of initial running uh, run assistant, right? So it supports up to 5 countries to import the geography data. The remaining we need to do again manually. So first we need to go to setup and maintenance. Then go to sales foundation. The first task is manage geographies. Click on that and search for a country. So by default, no geographies data will be loaded or enabled. You need to set up the geography data for each country. Suppose if you take US, you can search by country name or country code. So these are this is the country. So, and if you go to actions, you can see option import geography data. So this will be enabled only if you are not enabled the data, right? Or if you not set up the data, so then only this will be enabled. So basically the first time this will be enabled. Once you import, this will be disabled. You just need to click on the actions and click on import geography data and submit this process. After some time, the geography for this geography information for US will be completed. If you are going to create manually, so then few steps need to perform. So we'll go one by one. So first, even for importing data, so we might need to specify some settings, like example, geocoding defined. What geocoding defined will do is to calculate the latitude, longitude of a specified address. If we want that exact specific point of address, right? So we can enable this geocoding defined. This will help for some maps feature, right? And then and in CX sales mobile, maybe around me, what are the opportunities or leads available, right? So to define that, this geocoding will help. Then address cleansing is if you want to enable, just click on the this tick mark. So if there is check mark here, that means geocoding is enabled. So now it is disabled. Geocoding is not enabled. If you click on this, it will be enabled. Then address cleansing. So just click on that. It will show the types, like validation type, and this will help to validate the real-time addresses that we are entering. I think this needed the some verification services. So then only this real-time validations will work. So we need to enable those validations. We need to enable the real so some validation services. We need to integrate that. So then it will work. So you can specify whether it's optional or none. So you can so that this address cleansing will work. The whole idea to use this task is to maintain the better data or the correct data. Then structure. So if you go to manage geography structure, you can have uh, the geography types, right? As I said, geography types are nothing but the state, country, or city, so postal code. So these are the different types of geographies. So if you want to, there are some existing geography types. So you can choose the geography types here, existing geography types. If your requirement doesn't satisfy with the existing geography types, you can still create a new geography type using create and add geography type button. So this will you just need to give the type and then save and close. So then it will be available here and you can add that. Whatever the imported one from the system, right? So that are not that we can't delete. So only the custom ones that we added so can be deleted. So here we defined the structure, geography structure, right? Like state, country, city, postal code, area, and this is the order. Now we will save and close. So now we have defined that structure, how the address should be captured, right? Now we need to define the data also, or we need to verify the data once imported, right? So we need to verify. So if we go with this import geography data, right? So automatically the structure and the data hierarchy, right? So it will be loaded. Structure, the structure for the country and the hierarchy. So both will get loaded. Now, if we go to hierarchy, so we can see, so because we are searching for United States, so all the data will be listed for only for this country. Here you can see the top one is geography type as country, and the next one is state. Now, if you expand, a country will be there. Then if you expand, city will be there. If you expand, postal code. So this is exactly the format we choose it, right? And in addition to this, we have also selected the area, right? So we can add that area also here. Suppose, okay. So if I want to add, I'll just try to add one more postal code and then the area information. if I click on this postal code and then if I add, right, so it is taking the next type as area as per the structure we define. So we need to create on we need to click on the city and then create. So I'll just add the same thing. Okay, now you see under under city, two postal codes are there, and under one postal code there is a area. So once the data is created, it is read only. So to inactivate, we just need to delete. And this error we got because once we define, we can just modify, I think. We can't delete because there might be dependencies on this data. So that's why it doesn't allow deleting also. Okay, so and you can also see the data provider here. So Oracle provides some list of data like it provides, it takes the data from some third-party providers like Vertex, Locate. So these are Nokia. So these are the different data providers. So with the help of those the third parties providers, so Oracle provides this data. Okay, so this is the hierarchy and data, right? So that we defined for US. Okay, so once you modify, even if you import from system, right, then you can still add the additional the data that or additional hierarchy, right, as per your requirement. The base data you will import from the system, and the additional changes you can add from here. Okay, so now you define the structure as well. You define the data or hierarchy as well. The next one is defining the validations. So for that, you need to go to this manage geography validation task. And so you have address styles. So here for CX sales, we will choose United States postal address format. So tax address format we will not use. So finance or financials module might use this, or HCM. So we will select this. And then the mapping. So basically we have a list of predefined attributes like address line 1, 2, city, then country, postal code, right? We can map, so we can basically rename this, um, this address styles formats. So I'll show you in the next task where we can modify this. But we can map that, and we can, instead of address line 1 field, so we can say just line 1, or right, so something like that, or in place of city, taluk, something like that. So we can modify and reuse the same field. In place of postal code, something like zip code. So we will use the same attribute but with a different name. Then then geography mapping and validations, right? Here, for each attribute, right? So, okay. So for each attribute, so we are specifying whether we need to enable the list of values. So user, if we enable this, right, whatever the data that is available through the hierarchy, right, it will be it will be there as a list of values. So user can select that uh, drop down and he can select that value. But if we uncheck this, we user can enter manually as a text format, like as a text field, right? So they can enter the values. Enabling list of values will resolve incorrect data. So because user is not entering the data, he will just choose the data, and thereby so there won't be any spelling mistakes or incorrect data. So the dummy data, test data, etc. Tax validation is again related to uh, not for CX sales. Geography validation, you can enable it. Now for area, we will not choose enable list of values, and for taxation validation, we will just choose. Okay. Now at the end, validation control, right? Here we have once once we validate, right? If any error found or if any validation found, do we need to allow them, right? Or we will just throw an error that you can't proceed. So for that, right, so we can choose this error if we want to stop the user to proceed further once he entered incorrect data. So otherwise, we can just select no validation. So user can enter with any. And later he might correct, or some data migration teams might correct. Okay. Once it is done, just save and close. So now all of these tasks we have completed. These 5 tasks we have completed. So the same tasks we can also see from here. Manage real-time address cleansing. So this is the task. Manage geography structure. So this is the task. Manage hierarchy, validation. Then import geography. If you want to create a new country, so then you can choose this plus button to create a new country. Okay, you just need to provide uh, after creating, you just need to use this import geography data to load the data. So ideally, all the countries will be available by default. Now we will go to the another task, manage the task name is manage uh, so where we provide this address format, postal address format. Okay, so for that we'll go to setup and maintenance. And search, manage address formats. Click on this. Search by country. Now we have seen, just now we have seen the postal address format, right? Click on this. So here you can see the layout arrangement also. Suppose address line 1, line 2, right? So state, city. So where exactly these should appear, right? The line number and the position. So we can just preview from here as well. So now with this, right? Uh, you can see line 1 address line will be there. Line 2 address line 2 data will be there. In line 3 it will be arranged like this: city, comma state, comma postal code, comma county. So this will be arranged in line 3, and in line 4 country will be there. So you can edit this by clicking edit here, and you can modify the values. You can also specify so whether it's required or not, or it should show only the uppercase values. The whatever the data we are having, right? All will be showed in uppercase if you enable this. If you click on required, so you must enter that specific attribute. Also, in the previous task, right? I showed the prompt and the respective element. So here is the place where you can change the value. Suppose we have added one more field, right? So that is maybe we'll say in line number 5, position 1, area. So for area, we will choose additional address element attribute 1. Okay. So now, so additional address attribute 1 will store the area field, uh, area values. Now, if you preview, okay, we will save. Okay, let me. Looks like changes are not saved. Let me again add. Okay, line number 5, position 1, area, and additional address element 1. Looks like some issue with the save. So, but once we save, line 5 will appear here, and the area will be displayed here. Okay, so this is the uh, address format styles. Now, where exactly we will use this is in account contact, etc., right? And territories as well. So I'll just quickly create a contact with the help of this address data. Now I'll go to contact screen where I will be capturing the customer information. So I'll be creating a new contact person. So I'll enter my customer name. Okay. Then if he belongs to some organization, you can choose that organization here, but it's not mandatory. Title and his contact details. You notice, so this is called some data verification services. So when you provide the data, so immediately the system, if you integrate with the validators, right? Uh, so immediately it will validate and it will show the status here, whether it's valid in real time or not. So since there is no email address with this value, it is showing invalid, or with this phone number, it is not a correct phone number. It's not real time correct. So it is giving address as invalid. So this doesn't come automatically. You need to enable this and also some additional licensing needed uh, uh, as part of your standard CX sales license. So now coming to this, so here is the address attributes that came here. Country, address line 1, line 2, city, and then state, postal code, country. So this came from this screen, right? Is came from the manage address uh, style format, right? So from that it came. So area data, right? We have defined, but it doesn't come because we are unable to add the area field in address format. So once you enter the data, right? So you can verify this address whether it's valid or not using this verify button. Okay. Fine. If you know the exact code, you can just search that. I'll choose country. Because this there is some already address defined, so it is saying it's an accepted address. So if you give some incorrect data, because whatever data here we have selected, it's all predefined data, LOVs, right? So that way it doesn't give any error. But if we choose some text data here, and if we enter some wrong data, it might not be a correct one. So now save and close, save and continue. The record will be created. And when it comes to account, so you can specify the bill to, ship to, and the registered address, something like that. So So this is our address data. So now we will just quickly also go through account, where we will see that address of for bill to, ship to, etc. So if we go to accounts, so for this you also might need to enable multiple addresses. So go to profile. So here is the place where we can capture multiple addresses. Now, if you also notice, if you select some other country, the format or the structure, right, is different. See, the structure is different for some countries. Okay. If I choose India, so this is the format address style I'm getting. We can also like expose that the type field, so that we will specify whether it's a sell to or bill to. So here it doesn't uh, it doesn't like expose it. So we can expose and we can select whether it's a sell to or bill to. So this, okay. So once we imported the base data, right? So if we want to add some additional countries or additional geography data, so we can use import management. So through this manage geographies task, we will import the base data from Oracle. But once it is imported, once the base data is imported, so if we want to add some additional values, right? So then we will go to the import management. If you go to navigator, import management, here click create import activity. So this is more like a data migration. So you like how you will do the bulk import, bulk record creation, right, in Fusion, the same way. If we create this click import activity, right, in the object selection, search for geography. Right here you have a geography. Select this geography object, and you provide all the right, whether what is the geography type, and what is that country, what so that hierarchy you can specify in the import file, and it will be added into the list. To get the templates, so we can go to the import object. So we will be explaining the import exactly in coming topics. But you can always go to this import objects and get the template and prepare your import file and then upload here.